how much is really enough? If you're into finance, you probably follow hundreds of YouTube channels that show sick numbers, like $100,000 a month. On the other hand, if you follow spiritual gurus and influencers, you probably think money is not that important for us to be truly happy and satisfied. So whether you dip your fingers into the spiritual or financial realm, you need something to live for. For us to do that, we create plans and pin down a number of things we want to get in the future. And once we get them, we feel like we can fill the hole in our chest. But once we get that number or thing, the emotion never lasts long. And we're on the way to the next goal, and the next, and then the next. Hey chumps, Nick here, and today we're gonna pick the questions that we all subconsciously think. How much is enough? How many likes is really enough to make this video go viral? How many clicks on the thumbs up button below to make it turn black is really enough? Okay, hit the thumbs up button below, don't make me beg for it. Please. Thanks for doing that. Now let's continue. According to a recent Purdue study published in the Journal of Nature and Human Behavior, income can correlate with emotional well-being and life satisfaction. Globally, we find that satisfaction occurs at $95,000 for life evaluation and $60,000 to $75,000 for emotional well-being. However, the study also found that the ideal income for life satisfaction in North America is $105,000 as reported by Inc. So, the numbers can go up and down in each and every state. For example, in New York, you need $150,000 a year to be happy. In Kansas, you need $91K to be happy, according to this research. What we do now is that we throw a couple of numbers here and there. But how much is enough for you to feel happy? I think there isn't a number that will give us that personal fulfillment that we expect that number to give. Because I used to have a number that I want to get in the future. This was 10 years ago. 3 years after I wrote that number down, I got 5 times more monthly salary than the number I wrote down. But this feeling of inner fulfillment didn't last very long. In a matter of days, it was gone. I was more involved in the business and I was vibrating at a higher frequency. I was feeling more excited and happier when the business was still a baby. I had thousands of obstacles every single day trying to make my business work. But that period of my life turned out to be the happiest period in my business days. So how much is really enough? How much do we really need to generate so we can go to that imaginary place of heaven and honey melting from the skies? The answer is very simple. We need all of it. We fall in the bear trap, thinking that if we get to a destination or a place we want to be in the future, we'll fill that empty hole inside us. Because we think about everything in terms of destination. For example, we cannot imagine that space has no end, right? We imagine that there has to be a wall somewhere. But scientists now concluded that it is unlikely that there's an end to the space. The universe has no end, and we have to imagine that something has to end. Because we as humans, we think in terms of day and night, life and death, inhale and exhale. We work and we sleep. For things to make sense, we have to believe that things end somewhere. But here is exactly where the rabbit hole lies. Logically, everything has to end, right? Our life has to end one day. And we think in terms of from A to B, from B to C, from C to D, etc., etc. Things have to make sense. We have to connect the dots somehow, right? That's what CSI and the mentalists have taught us, that when you connect the dots, everything makes sense. You can solve a murder case like that. But the paradox of life is, for life to be great, for life to feel like a great process, we have to make it all about the journey, not the destination. Happiness lies in constant progress. This is something that completely changed the game for me. I thought that happiness lies in something I'll get in the future, or a number I'll get, and I'll feel this long-lasting happiness. Or I thought that drinking Tuscan wine somewhere lost in Tuscany will bring me happiness, although that's not far away from the truth. But all jokes aside, happiness lies not in the end goal, because for example, feeling happiness is a life process in itself, right? For example, you're not happy for just a second and it goes away in a blink of an eye and you're just feeling sad again. No, it's a process in itself, because the brain releases chemicals like serotonin and dopamine, and we get rewarded with feeling that makes us feel alive. Every emotion we feel is a life process itself. Just like any kind of progress. A lot of us work in changing ourselves, but every process brings change in itself. Change is the cause of progress. Also, I had this belief that once I'm in a relationship and once I start my business, the things will run by itself automatically. That's the trap of false belief. There is no such a thing as passive living. Everything we do is constant work in progress. For example, relationships in the beginnings are great, right? You're feeling amazing. You enjoy every minute spent with your loved ones. It's so exciting. But as time goes by, we feel a sudden decline in the emotions, right? Because we stopped working on that relationship. And I also think that this is the main cause that push people to cheat. They look for another person and they search for that excitement and that intimacy and that lovemaking with another person. They completely forget that they swore to love them in health and sickness just because they want to chase that high with another person. And this cycle is bound to fail because we will do the same exact thing to that current person. We'll do that with another person and with another person. This is a never-ending cycle. The same goes for exercise. Most people exercise for a week or two, even a month, and they feel this excitement and soreness. But all of a sudden, in a couple of months, there will be sudden decline and obstruction of growth in muscle, right? And the next thing you know, they're sitting at home with big fat bag of potato chips. We can find this form of quitters in every single thing in life. I ran a marathon 5-6 years ago and the same went there. First, the gunshots and all the crowd just rushes, sprints those 2-3 kilometers. And then 5-6 kilometers, they're all falling back. And I passed 90% of the people in the first 6-7 kilometers. And I know that a lot of those people, because I checked online, they didn't even finish the race. The list of similar ending goes on and on and on and on in each and every simple thing. So how much is really enough? It's never enough. When we decide to commit to a relationship or even open a business, we're signing for something that will never end. Of course, if we want that process to last, it's a journey of obstacles and it takes dedication to jump the obstacles on the way. But there is a mental hack for this process to be fruitful, and I will break this down and spit it out in 3 simple things that truly help me go through this journey of life. The first, start from a point of gratitude. In the beginning, the process in itself will hold our willpower because everything new is exciting. But as time goes by, persistence gets heavier to bear. And that's where the point of gratitude does wonders. Whenever I get discouraged that I didn't hit the bullseye of my daily goals, I always get demoralized, discouraged. It always helps me to remind myself of all the things I currently have. We all truly have a lot more. I have a loving wife, a kid on the way. I have a beautiful apartment that I've bought early in my years. I have few side businesses running with little to no time. I have this and that and this and that. And we all have things to be grateful for. Reminding ourselves of these things that we should be grateful for, that we all have, that I know we all have, gives us so much gratitude, whether they're for business or personal fulfillment. The second mind hack is that every problem has a solution. No one can convince me of an alternative. There is always at least one solution to each and every problem every job faces. If I can't find the solution to that problem, I write down on a piece of paper. I write down the problem and I try to find each and every possible way to solve that problem, even if it takes me hours. Because the state of being, the mood we're in, when we cannot find solution to the problem, is what clouds the judgment. If we can lens out and see the situation with a bit more cold and harsh and emotionless state, the solution will surface like a ball in the ocean. I found that writing all of that on a piece of paper gets me to that state. And the third mind hack is that problems equals happiness. Imagine waking up without a single problem. You're gonna be happy maybe for a day or two, a week, but after a month, I can guarantee you that you're gonna be the most depressed person in the whole world. No goals to achieve, no problems to solve. We amount to a statue, a death waiting to happen. Always remember, good times create weak people and weak people create hard times. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Having obstacles on the way is what makes it exciting to pursue the goals. I think we need to change the definition of problems and call it problems are physical or mental obstacles that grant life hope and purpose. Just how many things will turn different if we paraphrase the definition of problems? A lot of people will solve the problems with much more ease. So for the last time, how much is enough? Remove the perception that there will be a point in time where you'll be fulfilled and happy if you get an X amount of money, if you get an X amount of things, or even if you get into a relationship. The deception we tell ourselves that something has to be present or someone has to be present for us to be fulfilled is the life's biggest lie. That high state of mind, happiness, excitement, all of that can be brought to us by constant progress. Champs, I hope in a way I helped you solve the question that haunts most of us. If that's the case, feel free to hit that like button below to make it turn black so you can allow me more progress on YouTube. And if you like this philosophy, feel free to subscribe so we can hang out more in the future. See you champs in the next video here.